That's why our coffee shops up here are starting to do the pumpkin stuff now. Yeah. Yeah. So you're not freaking the ears.
We ran out of long tables.
You look like you're like sitting inserted there.
Yeah.
It's a special.
It is, it's a specialty.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, ladies and
You might be
gentlemen.
like used to hate in school.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Oh, sure. Should have worn my. Oh, I forgot to wear it today. I'm already out with my. I lost mine. You'll have to come to the conservation night. That's what we're saying. Oh, wait, you paid. You were there. Yeah. Did you, were they already sold out by the time they went in?
I don't remember seeing it.
Okay. The rain call meeting, we're at 6:32. I don't know. Shelley, you got everybody here? And we'll go ahead and look at our minutes from the July meeting.
Yes.
Early on. I'll use this one. Yes, sir. The motion will have it go on.
I make a motion that we approve the July 22nd, 2026 meeting minutes.
I second.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, this is our citizen input for the evening, and so we've got Terry Smith that would like to speak with us. I invited Terry to this meeting because, and the chamber, we were both gonna be here together anyways for the Christmas. And Terry's concerns are about the Autumn Festival and for the May Blooms Festival. They're the same, we use the same layout for both events. So, Terry, you got the floor.
All right, for those of you who don't know, this has been going on for about 3 or 4 months now, where I have been opposed to how we have the festival, not against the festival or the parades or any event, but I am concerned about how we lay it out. So what I'm hoping to do here is maybe we can open up a dialect so as we don't wind up at the next city council meeting where they attempt to do one thing and then I come along and protest against it, and then we just add a little bit more time to what's eventually gonna happen one way or another. Hopefully, what will happen is potentially a little bit of a mutual agreement about what is best. And so I just thought maybe it'd be a good time to attempt to bring this to a different type of form rather than just do it once each month and then have folks out here in the city misunderstanding what's actually going on and having input that's misdirected, because I've heard a whole lot about how I am opposed to festivals, and that's just not at all true. And for everyone who was here at the first meeting when I first brought this up, they can all attest to that, and those who were at the following can also attest that I have not deviated. I realize there has been issues about potentially moving the festivals to a park. And I did say at the last meeting that the more this just drags on, the more I'm inclined to think that is the most appropriate place, as far away from me as possible. But that's what anger does. And I have become angry over this issue about not really getting it resolved. So I'm not in favor of just immediately moving these events to the park. I'm in favor of sharing the area, because if you remember, my first concern was that I feel boxed in down there. I'm having my rite of passage eliminated, and my renters are having to give up something for an event that some of them it benefits and some of them it does not. However, the complaints have been genuine, and that brought me to the point where I decided I needed to address this issue. So, since there's been a lot of misinformation out there circulating, I would just like for any of y'all who have had any concerns before any of this goes any further, just to ask me what it is that I'm after and why it is that I won't shut my mouth. Go
Hi
ahead.
Terry, I'm Teresa Evans.
Well, good to meet you.
Never met, but I'm glad to meet you.
Are you the real estate Teresa
I
Evans, or-
used to be
Okay,
in the
all right.
real estate. I retired
Okay.
June 10th.
Well, I like retirement.
Me
Well, I call mine
too.
semi-retired, because I still do a lot more work, seems like I did
Seems like it,
before I
doesn't
tried to
it?
retire.
I wondered how I fit everything in before.
That, exactly.
What is it you're asking for us to do or not do?
Well, what I'm asking is, on the application for, to have the festival on Front Street, it seems to indicate that closing the entire street is an option. So I don't have a problem with requesting what is available. I would like to change what is available, because what is available, closing the whole street affects me pretty much in a negative way. And so I'm asking that, for this discussion, I'm asking that we consider not asking to have the whole street closed, just maybe half of it. Like, if you remember, not the last festival, but the one before that, where the road was divided down the middle. They put the cones down the middle, where the one lane could still go through on the side that has the merchants. That's what I'm asking for. Now, I did ask for two things the first night I started this, and I don't think it was a very good comment, but I said, share the love, because I feel boxed in down there on my corner, and if we can't share the street, then I think we need to spread the event out over the whole two sections of town. We only have two sections there, from Piccadilly Street to Ray Avenue, and then from Ray Avenue down to Jackson. Well, we never include those because the area from Ray Avenue to Jackson, because we say that, well, Ace Hardware does a lot of business on Saturday. Well, I can't deny that. And they said the pharmacy, the older folks can't turn around here and can't do this and can't do that. Well, I can't say that's not true, because I realize it is. But I can say that I'm boxed in down here, and there has to be a way to solve this. And rather than me just keep dragging this out and going to the next level, attempting to sound like, well, that's a threat. Well, I don't want to be threatening anybody, because I live here too, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be here. I've been very fortunate in this town, and I can do pretty much what I want as far as be here or not be here. I choose to be here, and I'll probably die here. So I would like to be happy here. And so far, have never once felt like what I'm asking for is unreasonable. And usually when folks do talk about it, which I have made a specific effort not to talk about this outside with citizens, other than the ones who were involved in the meetings when I started this, because I don't want a whole bunch of people against each other. And I did miss the meeting the night I landed in the hospital, where I saw on YouTube, where folks got to say whether they liked it, having the festivals there or not. Well, that was never an issue, and I felt offended at that. So I thought maybe if we could just get together before these official meetings, because once the commission decides to do something, whether I like it or not, it's pretty much done. And so this, to me, gives us a chance to put everything on the table here and figure out if we can work together.
Can I just ask for clarification purposes,
Yes, Joey, it's
Which-
your turn to speak.
which buildings do you own?
You know, right there on the corner there, where I painted that wall black there that says Ayala's there,
Okay.
it used to be Movie Depot. It's not empty, but it looks empty, that one. And it also has Stephanie's store in it there, between the vines. And Alex is there for Ayala's.
Okay.
And Evelyn's there.
Evelyn's Gallery, okay.
Evelyn's Catering. And on Front Street right there, that's it right there on Front Street.
Okay. And the other question I had, because those are do you own an active business on Front Street?
No longer.
Okay. So when you're saying you're feeling boxed in,
Oh, yeah, I live there also. I live upstairs on that, and I absolutely have my freedom of going and coming altered during those events. Well, that's really not that big of a deal. Some folks think it is, but I really, it is a minor irritation, but anything for the town, it's just like the Christmas parades on that. I like the parades. I will do whatever. However, since I do feel boxed in with these, we just having events, because this is something that happens spring and fall. What about when Leon wants to have an event during summer and winter? And how about when Teresa wants to have an event? And there are options for other groups to have events. I would like something set in stone to say that we don't have that option anymore just to box me in. We're either gonna share this load, which some people call it a good load and some people don't. At the moment, I'm not on the good side.
I guess I don't understand why you're saying you're boxed in. Yes,
Well, I am
you live
boxed
there,
in.
because if your problem, you're saying you're boxed in, is that to get in and out of your
And
place
I'm
that
trying
you
to be a
live?
little bit more delicate, because I've had, you know, as I mentioned that first night, I've had merchants who do not want their name mentioned at City Hall, but it doesn't stop them from complaining to me. And just like I said that night, I charge them well to be there, and it makes me feel like I owe them money back if I can't provide them what they paid for, which is exposure there on the street. We do pay twice the, you know, the taxation there, city and county, which everybody in the city does. That's a factor. But when you rent a commercial space, you expect to get commercial space. You don't expect to be blocked off. Now, if you're one of the lucky ones who like it, then you don't say anything because it's fine. But if you're not, you do. And so I choose to take this completely upon myself, as I told your chairman that I said that night. This is about me. It's not about any of them, because they don't want this drug out. And you can go talk to some of them, they will say, they'll probably say what, because this has kind of been going on a while, they'll probably say exactly what I say they will say. Because, you know, different ones like it and some don't. But anyway.
It does bring business to the majority of the businesses on Front Street. The festivals do bring them business. So most of them do like that.
I can't say that, because Daily Bread let me know that whoever started the rumor about them liking it and having this on the first day that they opened up on Saturdays, they said that's the girls up front, because, you know, that's a new thing. But said so far we can't tell there's been any. Okay, so that's just one opinion. I've got one renter who absolutely refuses to. She didn't like the car shows because it didn't help her. And she's actually not even in business, other than she rents the space now. Boy, she didn't like these when she was, and she don't like them now. I've got one who says it doesn't really matter, and never did complain. But I got one who really got her toes stepped on, and I'm gonna speak up for them. And even if it's not right, if you rent from me, and even if I don't like it, you're still gonna get the same deal, because I get your money, and you get something from me too. Might not be everything you want, but in those type of areas, it'll be something.
I guess it's just puzzling because when we had our last event in spring, several people went around to all the vendors, they went around, there's different people that went to all the businesses because we've had this issue, and they specifically asked, okay, how is it going? And everybody said it was a great event.
It was a
So
great event.
that's when you're
I
coming
can
and
say that
saying-
right now too. It was a great event. It was probably the best one y'all did.
Right, and that's what we had.
But see, I'm not here about that. They ain't got nothing to do with that at all.
But yes, it is.
See, no, it isn't. It has nothing to do with that. It was a beautiful event, wonderful event. There was a lot of people there, but they're not the people that come in and shop. They might come in and shop at Stephanie's over there. And it's my understanding that there is a few that do come in to Alex's and get sodas, but they don't do too much there. And that's all, those are just, to me, not relevant. It's the offensive side that I'm here about, is blocking the whole street off when there is another option. Now, if there's something that tells me you need the whole street, that's what I'm here for, to hear about that.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
you mind if I speak? My
Go
name's
ahead.
Leslie, nice to meet you.
What are you, Leslie, from where, what?
I'm on the chamber board.
Okay.
My name is Leslie Phillips. I want to know, and I want you to go on the record in front of everyone here and say that if we do not close the street both ways, and a child, even a dog, steps out in front of traffic and gets hit and killed in front of people or injured or anything, I would love for you to go on the record right now and say that the things that you are bringing in front of us are more important than that. Because the safety, that's the most important thing to me. I hate that any business may have a traffic issue. It's a very short period of time. And so many people from our community come, like I could go on and on, but the most important issue for me is safety. And if there's any cars driving past, I have witnessed firsthand when we've had a road closed, a car driving right through the middle because they moved the barrier themselves, because they weren't paying attention. I have witnessed firsthand the time we had the street one way, people driving too fast through there. And little kids are just little kids, and you can say, well, the parents should be watching them. All these different things, you can say a million of them, but it just takes 1 second. It takes one little kid to dart out in front, or their balloon, or anything, one time. And the safety of the people in this town, the way that it would devastate everyone here and everyone in this community if something happened to one of our little people or anything, is the most important thing to me. So I just need to know what your solution is there, because you can't control, if you give cars the right and the option to drive through there during an event, you can't make sure that they're gonna drive a certain speed. You can't make sure they're gonna be able to stop. You can't make sure they're not gonna be on their phone. You can't make sure of any of those things. And it's just the fact that there's so many people congregated in those areas that produces the option, which is why we close both ways of the street, you know. And the time that I did witness when we had one way open, there were many good things about it. So I'm not saying that it was the worst, because there were many good things about it. But the times that I did turn around and witness cars going too fast on the one-way area, it just made me nervous, you know. And as a mother and a community member and many other titles, I love everybody in this town, and I love you for living here. I love you. If you love Spring City, I love you, because I love Spring City. It's my home. It's my family's home. I never want to move. I'm like you. I'm like, I will die here. I've lived many places, but I love it here. And the safety, more than anything, is the most important part. So if you have another solution, I want to hear it, but I stand firmly on both ways closed for the short period of time, and I hate that it puts anybody out, especially if that's your home, right? That's why you're passionate about it, because that's your home, that's where you live. But, if you have other solutions, I wanna hear them, but when I hear all those things that you're saying about yourself, I just, no disrespect, but I'm thinking about all the other people that I'm thinking about when we think about the one-way street and the two-way streets. And we're here, you know, in my mind, that's my personal view. So what do you got?
Well, Leslie, that is, the safety of the children absolutely is paramount, no doubt, that's unquestionable. However, in my head, in my world, you have to be realistic, because if you want to be concerned about the safety of the children, I mean, then you need to be out there road guarding right now, because there are people coming to eat right now, and they go across the road to the grassy area and walk their dogs quite a bit, about as much as I do mine. So, I mean, anything can happen, that's true. But as far as keeping the road closed just for that, it seems like that's a little bit of an overkill to me. Not that safety's ever an overkill, but you can't say that just because we close the road, somebody's not gonna get hurt. We're not gonna get hit by a car.
No, but you have to take all the precautions. You have to take
Well,
every precaution.
I do think you can take a lot of precautions. I think you can put up crosswalks and do different things and signage, because when I talked to the police, they told me that yes, that did work, and there was a car that went the wrong way, and I have to say, well, you know, how long have we had that intersection there at Piccadilly in front now with those flashing stop signs? Well, I take my dog in and out quite a bit, and you would think by now, what's it been, about 3-4 years? You would think by now people would have learned to stop there. Well, now right there's where the danger is, and it's not the kids walking, it's the kids in the car with somebody who come across there and didn't bother looking except anything at that stoplight on 27. Okay, I brought that up with those folks. That's actually what brought that flashing light in there in the first place, because they weren't acknowledging the four-way stop. Now, I say they weren't. One out of every maybe 90 people just don't acknowledge that at all. They just drive through, barreling through. And we have had multiple wrecks there, and I think we've been very fortunate since those flashing lights have been put there. We haven't had any big wrecks. You know, Mr. Brown broke a telephone pole down over there. That's how fast he was going through that intersection. Now, he actually had a medical thing, but we've had members of our town. Yeah, the one on the very corner. No, the one right there on.
The one that passed away,
Yeah.
he jumped railroad tracks right here, he went between that tree and that fence.
Yeah, and he also hit that pole down there too, because there used to be a pole on the right side, right over there, and it went right on down, remember? And they took the power off of that pole and run it over to the one on the left side there where the meter box is. So, I mean, things have happened there, and Paul Hamilton got hit 3 times there. And, I mean, he's passed away also. But, I mean, 3 times he went through the intersection because he didn't like to stop there. Now, this is Spring City. We've got a lot of senior citizens here. They're gonna do these kind of things, and if you wanna take a precaution against kids possibly causing or being the reason we don't do something, then we've gotta go a little bit deeper, because people they're just doing what they do here. And we're not stopping that intersection from being unsafe, because it's still unsafe, even with the flashing lights.
I don't wanna get too far off track, because I think that we're talking about the closure of the street. I could talk about the semi-trucks that run the red lights in town for 20 minutes, because
They do that too.
Yep. I mean, we could talk about so many safety things. We were specifically talking about the safety things for the 2 events that we're having 2 times a year.
I know, but
For
we
the-
haven't
for the
had
children.
anything to say that anything has happened. We've had one person, to my knowledge,
We're
drive the
talking,
wrong way.
I think we're dabbling in the what ifs, and you have to because of tragedies happening, because of our city being liable, because of all these things happening, you have to deal with the what ifs, and you have to think about the protection of other people, which is why we have to stop. stop signs and street lights and
I
all
know,
the
but-
things. You have to think about that and not just specifically, with all due respect, again, one person. And so I want to hear something that supports a better option that you have other than having one lane open.
Then I got a question for you, Leslie. And then, cause I'm not saying that what I want is, trumps any safety at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, how about me and my group just come and decide to close down your block, and we shut you down for, 6 or 8 hours a day, twice a year, just because I wanna have a festival there. Okay,
Bring a
that's just a
festival. I
point.
would love a festival.
Okay, well, that's just a point, but maybe you wouldn't love it, maybe you might not would love it, and I do it anyway.
But you know,
because,
I would
you
make
know,
arrangements knowing that was going to happen on this day every year. I would make arrangements for myself to either be home all day or be gone all day.
Do you have access to the back of the
That's,
building?
that's just who I am.
That's what I've
though.
done for 4 years,
Yeah.
I have decided 4 years is my cutoff. And so, when I decided that was the end of it, is for 4 years, then I have to start making a little bit of noise, and may not get anywhere.
Is this just twice a year?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
for
yeah, it is
kids?
for the Bloom Festival, yes, it's twice.
It's Terry, I'm Lisa Fuller, I'm also on the chamber, it's nice to meet you. You know, this is, I come from a bigger city, but I do live in Spring City, and this is such a cute little town, and
It is.
everywhere I've ever been does this, and when they told me can't do that, I'm just shocked, because everyone does it. Is there something we can do to accommodate you? Have you been to the festival?
Well, I live right there, I have to go.
Come
to
down
it.
and enjoy it with them.
Well, I mean,
It's just
I'm right there.
it's such a sweet little festival. I mean,
He
I
comes
was just
down and
really
brings
amazed.
his little dog with him.
Yes, I do. I'll
Yes,
take my
he
You know,
does.
come down and help with it, get involved with it.
Oh,
I
no,
think that,
I'm not much for that,
I think that everyone would, love the help. I mean, it's just such a cute little town.
But it is, I like the festivals, I
And it's
just
such a
don't like
short
what we're
period of time,
doing
but when I
with
came
the
here
street
for the first time, I
posts.
thought, this is just such a
Ain't nothing
sweet
about
little
the
Hallmark
festival.
town, so.
It is nice, a beautiful town, we used to have dances right there in front of the
It's such a
chamber,
sweet
but
little area.
that wasn't always the
Again,
chamber.
we've seen so many things on the news where there's so much danger out there with it, the safety. I mean, I know we can't prevent everything, but if we can just do something. I mean, I've got little dogs and I like to bring them down here, and I'd be mortified if somebody ran one of my dogs over out here.
Right.
Yeah, we
When I was
had
out here.
somebody get hit at the Christmas parade last time, I mean, those things can happen,
Yes.
that they can happen.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you just can't take every
we can't
last
prevent
precaution.
everything, but if we can prevent some of it, to where we can have like a pet-friendly event where I can bring my dogs.
Well,
Go
I
down
mean,
there and do a
I
festival.
didn't wanna have no, combative discussion, I just wanted
It's
to
just
let
a
you
lot
know
of things
what it is
Where
that
you're
I,
coming from.
yeah, where I'm coming from,
Man, we
because
understand, it's just a
I'm
couple
thinking
hours.
that the more we just do the yin yang thing, cause I'm already dug in, and I realize you guys are dug in, so that just means a rock in the hard place, so we have to go somewhere.
What can we do?
And, well, I don't know, I'm looking, that's what I wanna do, is look at options, because I have talked to options with our city folks, and I know that there's been options to simply stop it completely and go to the parks. Well, I would like to not see that happen.
It just needs to be enhanced.
No, it's,
It
I
just needs to
don't,
be
no,
enhanced.
I'm just saying what was discussed, and so if that turned out to be an option, which that's all it takes is 3 commissioners to say that is the option, there is none of that, no, those are the
But
ones
you're
that
a part of this
decide.
community, and you
Well, I
own
know,
some of
I'm
the
just
buildings,
pointing
and it's
out
such
that-
a beautiful
That
town.
I'm just saying that we gotta figure out something, we can't just say, well, the holdup is because a kid might get run over, that's what I'm.
That is
Well,
that is the
safety
utmost
is-
paramount,
safety
most
is
important part of what we're
the
saying, that is
main
not the
That's what I'm
hang-up.
hearing.
That's it. That is,
Okay, stop.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I was asked by the city attorney to bring clarification to this. She's gonna be at the, meeting on the 27th, and she'll also be at the meeting on September 3rd. The clarification she wanted me to bring was from Carol Ann Barron, the city attorney, who said that above all, we're only modifying traffic through traffic. The road's not actually closed. The road will be open to everyone. They'll be walking on it, tents on it. That's where the event's gonna kind of lead over to. So she wanted me to make that clarification. that the road's actually not closed, that it's closed to through traffic. And that was due to, the safety issue of pedestrians mingling with cars on a road, going back and forth. And she also said that, the one-lane road, is basically not an option, that if it's going to be, it has to be both lanes because of the, safety aspect of it and the liability aspect of it. So I asked her to come to the meeting tonight. She said that, she reports to the board, and that's who she reports to, that, she'll report to the board. Basically, I assume the exact same thing, during the meeting on the 27th. But she couldn't come tonight because she doesn't report to none of us. She's the board's attorney. You know, even though she's the city's attorney as well, but that's who she reports to. And she asked me to make, some clarifications, that it was through traffic, the road is not closed, it is very much open, it is just closed to vehicles. So she said basically, and we discussed it about what it was similar to, and basically it's similar to, there's no parking spots, and you gotta park over there and walk to where you're going. So her recommendation was, and I assume will be to the board, that you can't do a one-lane closure, because that was one of the things that we had all discussed in depth, that she recommended no one-lane closures, and that the entire, both lanes are closed, and it was a safety issue, and it is open to the public, it's just closed to through traffic is all. She wanted to make that clarification.
When you have cars that can drive right through so many gathered people, because that has been an issue at many places in the country where a lunatic has decided they want to drive through a crowd of people.
Actually, Leslie, you're right, the police department recommended the, full closure, the sheriff's department did, and Homeland Security did, to a Gray County, so I've heard, so.
Then under that leaves me right back at square one. You remember what I asked for that night? And that would divert me to that same situation. Just simply take it down from Jackson to, Piccadilly, and then I have no right to complain because everybody's under the same roof.
Can I speak a minute? Terry and I had talked, you know, before we had the Blooms Festival this year, we had used the full road, you know, when we had done that. I think that we do need to shut down both lanes of traffic for safety. I do feel we're growing. And as we grow and we can feel, I mean, I would think that you know, if we're talking about teaming up with the Laurel Days and things that we could grow into and possibly use all of the road and grow to that point to where it's not just one section, that we have an idea of growth. And I think that will come with time. And then maybe we can make everybody happy, you know, at that point, and we can grow to that point. But at this point, I don't know that we would have enough vendors and things to fill all that space. But I understand, you know, I said this to Robbie, I said this to all of y'all. I like personally that we use the full street. And we've not been able to do that yet, okay, in order to be able to fill it, obviously. But I do hope that the goal is for growth and that we do end up being able to eventually be able to close all of that.
And all the way into the park.
And maybe that would make everybody happy. Plus, we've grown an event that we will be known for. We have enough traffic. And I just think, obviously, for me, when you do something, you wanna do it better every year. You wanna grow it, you wanna be known for it, you wanna put a stamp on the city. And I think over time, we can get there.
Can I
So-
turn the clock around just a second and ask about something? 4 years ago, we started doing this and we chose Front Street. Why did we choose that? Because used to, we did these things at the parks. And again, I'm not saying parks is the ideal thing, I'm just saying, why did we choose Front Street? And 4 years ago.
Visibility to
by
Highway
Exposure.
27, to be able to capture people.
Exposure.
Well, people
Exposure.
driving down 27, my name is Ricky Dash, I'm on tourism, okay? People driving down 27 see the tents, see people walking around, and that brings in more people. If we're in the park, nobody sees us.
Well,
And if we're
worked
trying
for
to, if we're
Ford,
trying to grow an event, we want more people, we don't, not just,
We want more business in our city. We want to make our city grow. We want people to come here and spend their money. That's what we want.
And also as part of the Tennessee Downtowns program and Tennessee Main Street programs, it's, and I can't remember if they always, the specifics, but it's to promote the downtown, which is Front Street. So by bringing, I mean, and it's, as you know, you've been here for a long time, it's like, when we moved here 20 years ago, what downtown looked like then and what it looks like now is different.
Yeah.
And that's due to a lot of hard work, not just from our city employees, our elected officials, but all the volunteers. And so it's like, and these programs are helping to, like, we have the new, benches and the new picnic tables and all that. That's part of whatever the program that comes
Tennessee
first.
Downtown.
Tennessee
Yes.
Downtown, I always forget which one's first. But as part of the downtown program, there's things that we have to do, like you were, I think, I don't know if you applied for that grant to help with stuff.
I didn't, I wasn't
Okay.
interested in it.
Okay, but that is something that's available to our downtown folks, businesses and, owners to help promote our
I
downtown.
think only 2 businesses took that, isn't that right, Thomas? Only 2 businesses took that.
But that's, I mean, but even if that's just 2 businesses,
Well-
that's 2 businesses that get money from the state because we're in this program. And this also helps us improve our full downtown business area, not just those 2 businesses, so.
Well, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that particular type of grant, the widespread usage was minimal, I thought, because it wasn't folks taking
And that was,
advantage of it.
that was the pre-application, was it not, Thomas?
That was just the, no, that was just basically just the pre-application, want to know if anybody's interested in it.
Right.
I've got a bunch to talk about that tonight, about the process moving forward, but the point is to bring businesses down to Front Street and Main Street.
And by
That's the
bringing
goal.
people here from a lot of other places, if they see a thriving downtown, I mean, I already have somebody that I talked to within the last couple of months that is interested in maybe having a business downtown. They've asked and stuff, so it's like, by seeing thriving, active downtown, people are gonna wanna come here. That some of them are just driving by. And
I have a question, bottom line. If this festival goes the entire length of the town, you have no problem with
That
that?
is correct.
So you wouldn't feel boxed in?
I would not feel boxed in because I would feel like we're all under the same penalty, we're all under the same benefit, we're all,
For
just like the parades are. When we have
Okay.
the parades, I don't have a complaint with anything because we're all doing it together. But here, I feel like I'm being ostracized and boxed in and restricted. And that's the whole issue.
And it's 2 or 3 days a year.
It's enough that I've had to deal with complaints on it and even last year I had to deal with somebody being, worried about moving their vehicles at midnight. Now, that's a separate issue, but it's the same thing. It was the event, move your vehicles at midnight, wake up and move your vehicle. That's wrong. That was wrong, we dealt with that. But it's the same thing because, yes, I move my vehicles. I'll move my vehicles every time there's an event, period, and I will adjust. But if my tenants have too long of effort into my sanity, complaining, whining, I say, well, go to City Hall. Well, that's probably the next step here because, but this time around, I'm coming to City Hall saying it's on me. If these folks want to complain, they need to be the one to go in and sign their name. But for now, I'm doing it.
I mean, at this time, there's really, there's not an impasse here, so at this point, it's goes before, I guess, the city attorney, and she's gonna advise us on what we can do.
Basically,
Okay.
I think what Terry's doing tonight is he's asking both both boards, if they'll change their mind and hold it somewhere else, because the half street isn't an option. If both boards still wanna move forward and let the city council decide, because they both have two different opinions on what they want, then is that okay?
It is okay, absolutely. Yes.
Well, and then just one more thing, it's like, I think the big thing is, especially going on what Stephanie said, is I don't think, at least for tourism, the chamber, it's like, it's not that we don't want to go the whole street, it's just, we're not at that point yet that we have to grow enough to get it there, so everybody,
Yeah, we would
you know,
love for
we'd
it to
love for it to
be
be.
that big.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that we're not gonna get there, it's just, I don't think
We're
we're
not
there
there.
yet.
Baby
Yes.
steps,
Look,
baby steps.
before we completely switch to another, area, can I ask, why does it need to be the street at all? Why not over in the grass, where it has been in the past? Why not just be over there? We had the kiddies over there with the kiddie, deal there, all that was in the grass. And people came through and stopped and went on there. So why they can't do that for like this type of?
Because we're still gonna
situation?
have pedestrian traffic.
And it's still space.
But they won't have to cross the road because they'll have place to park on that side. And if they do park on the road, then they would go across the road. I mean, as long as they could just get there. I have a problem with setting up shop in the road, period. But I
Well, we
don't
will
go
be
into
using,
another
we will
thing.
be,
Just want you to know
will
that.
be full, the grass will be full as well as the full street there. So it will be that whole section from the depot down to the stop sign right at the end of your building, that will be completely full.
Well, I'm just, if the option is no longer to share that road, then that leaves me two other ways to approach this. That means go from, Jackson Avenue to Piccadilly, and then I'm happy. And not that any of this has to do with making me happy, I'm just stating where I'm at. And so if that doesn't become a viable option, then I'm gonna keep coming to these meetings, and I'm gonna be asking for parks. And we'll just go against each other. You guys can go get a petition, and I'll go get a petition, and we'll just keep doing this. And then I'll go get a lawyer, and you'll go get a lawyer, and which, by the way, I cannot address any of your groups in the lawyer deal, because I too have consulted attorney, and I have to do it through the city. So you guys would not be the ones to deal with that directly. I'm just saying, if we don't come up with something, but we just can't have two forces just keep going and going and going, we could settle this. Somebody's just got to.
I guess that's the thing, is that is why we have the commission board, so they can.
I know, and then when they settled it, it's gonna be settled, but I've heard from
We've
them
already
that
voted
it's
on
a
it.
whole lot of, I wanna try to make everybody happy. Well, somebody has to lose at some point.
What you're saying, if you are not the winner of this, then
No.
you're gonna keep going, that's what
No.
you just said.
No,
Did I miss
I'm saying,
anything?
I am saying that if somebody doesn't give something, I
You're
am
saying
gonna
if you
pursue it.
don't get your way, you're gonna keep going and pursuing, like, that's what I'm hearing, and I think that's what everyone else is hearing. If we don't make you happy, and I think we could go around and around, because you're saying the safety is the most important part. He's literally saying the city attorney is gonna come to the next meeting and
Yes.
say, and Homeland Security and all that, saying that that's a no-go for the street option, and we're saying, we want to do this event here, and you're saying, we don't make you happy, and I asked, what can we do to make you happy? And you basically said, do it my way.
No, I said, that's the options that I see, I didn't say do it my way. The only option that I see is to extend to Jackson Avenue, fully closed, just like you wanna do it from Ray Avenue to Piccadilly. That won't bother me, as long as I know we're all under the
As long
same
as,
deal.
as long as elderly people cannot get their medicine and people can't pick up their mulch on a Saturday.
I
That's what you're
don't
saying,
know that
correct?
they can't do any of that. They close at 2:00 anyway, if you're talking about Haslers.
I'm just,
Okay, at this time, it's been 40 minutes, so we're gonna have to move on. Okay, so Helena from the aquarium is here, Madison from the aquarium is here.
Ladies.
Hi, thank you for having us. Well, we want to first say thank you for hosting Laurel Days Day again this past year. It continues to be a really successful event. The last time I was here, we talked about the opportunity to merge that with Spring Blooms, because it is just a really heavy lift on your end, as well as our end, to do it on 2 separate weekends in May. Hosting multiple festivals in 1 month, as we heard, is a big lift for the community. So we did our evaluation of Rural Base Day from this year. We switched some things up to see if that would potentially increase more business to Front Street. We decided not to host any food vendors in the park as an opportunity to, have people come downtown more. That didn't work out the way that we really wanted it to. We talked with the businesses and we talked with some of the folks who attended those, it's hard to get people to respond to a survey. So that didn't work out great. We were hoping that would help with some downtown business. Of course, still people from all over the state and region. It fell on the same weekend as Ironman, so we had folks come here from Kentucky, and I thought that they were gonna be virtual participants, but they're sure enough were people from different states attending this. So we're really excited that it's continued to be a success. We are here today because we would love to find a way to merge it with Spring Blooms. My first question to you all, because I don't know, is Spring Blooms just on Saturday, or is it also on Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay,
Monday, a few hours. What are the hours?
From 10 to 4.
10 to
from 10
4.
to 4, okay. So the racing company that we used this past year was excellent. They did a fantastic job, and they actually donated all of their time to the event, which was great. That's typically our largest expense, so we were able to save about $3,500 on them donating their time. They want to continue to do that. Our hang up, I believe Spring Blooms is the first.
It's almost the Saturday before Mother's Day.
Saturday before Mother's Day.
May
Okay.
8th.
May 8th, okay. The only thing with that timing company this year is that it's either the first weekend of May or the second weekend of May, or first Saturday or second Saturday. They do have another race, so they wouldn't be able to support. So one of the first questions is if Spring City is open to it being on a Sunday instead. And then follow-up question for that is it possible to do the race the morning of Spring Blooms?
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I feel
With
like
everyone
your route
setting
may
up?
have to change a little bit,
Yeah.
because you would have all your vendors trying to set up, so you could have some cluster there, if you're not careful with that, you'd have to lay out your map and
Just
figure
figure
that part out.
Yeah,
But
slightly.
I kinda think it would be a good thing to do that
Bring
in
in
the
more
morning.
Okay.
Excellent.
I don't
I'm
think
happy
the
to do
community
that.
would support a Sunday event, though.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay, great,
That's a no.
thank
Um,
you.
But I do, the race could definitely be that morning.
Okay, and then
Do you know what day that they're not available?
I think it might be the first weekend of May, I'll have to
So the
double
first
check,
is
and I'll
actually-
get back to you.
The first Saturday is the 1st of May.
Yes.
So then the Mother's Day weekend would be the 8th. So,
Okay.
I mean, we can move that around a little bit.
Should Spring Blooms?
Just say we can
But
send
it
it back.
could, it could be like,
We have Strawberry, when's
Strawberry
Strawberry
Festival.
Festival?
that would be
Mother's Day
after,
weekend.
that would be afterwards.
Is that
After
after?
Spring Blooms?
Yeah.
Do we know when the date of Strawberry Festival
We
is?
always do it Mother's Day weekend.
Is it, okay.
We've always timed it that because you got the strawberry parade, you got Strawberry
Yeah,
Festival.
and what you said,
So-
company.
We've always been, because I think the Strawberry Festival this past year, they did not start the next weekend, wasn't it the weekend of
Always Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And so it is all Mother's Day, so we actually do the weekend before,
Mhm.
not the
Right.
weekend of Mother's Day, but the
Right.
weekend before, okay.
Yes.
So that would be the 1st, not May 8th.
Okay.
That would be May the 1st.
Okay, so that would not conflict with the Strawberry Festival. Okay. And some of the feedback that we received you guys like that we shifted it this year? Do you like that?
Yes.
We didn't, personally, or, as the aquarium, we didn't get any complaints from the residents, but did you all hear anything, or you?
No, it was so early that.
Okay, okay.
No, I don't think
No.
it interfered.
I was,
with
I walked from my house here in town and walked through and runners were going by.
Yeah,
And they seem to really enjoy it, and I talked to several people that live here
yeah.
that really love doing it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. It would be so cool if in the future, especially if it's on Spring Blooms, if we could get the residents on board and we get a fun
Yeah.
little signs to cheer folks
Yeah.
on. So I'm happy to hear that. I was curious how that went over with the town of Spring City. And then, question from our previous conversation, we, the past 2 years, have only closed one lane of traffic for the race. Based on what the attorney has said, should that change in the future? Is that required, or is that just for Front Street events? Okay.
That's a good question for your meeting with them.
Because I do feel like that would probably have a negative impact on it going through town,
Well, now, where your runners are running, they run into the flow of traffic,
Yeah.
Yes, you're allowed to do.
so that you're allowed to do, so that's
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
not limited.
Okay, good to know, thank you.
Yeah.
I think the
Thank you
run
very
went
much.
really good when
Yeah.
it went through.
Great, I'm happy to hear that. So with that being said, our biggest lift is just being in Chattanooga and trying to bring everything here and get it all set up. And we now have some of you attended, and we're really happy to present the town of Spring City with our conservation MVP award.
Yeah.
So we have Conservation Night now, which is just a few weekends after when we historically hosted Laurel Days Day. And it's something that has been important to us in putting this event together, has been to invite conservation partners who work with us in conservation in this region, to come and meet with folks. We are doing that now at Conservation Night. It's provided us a new opportunity to bring all of those partners in.
I mean, the baseball game?
At the baseball
Yes,
game,
that was
yes.
conservation.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I was thinking,
Yes.
but I'm like. are you
Conservation
talking about
night.
the same thing?
Yes, the
Okay.
baseball game.
It
So-
was so hot.
It was so very hot. So we have this new opportunity to bring all of those partners, and it's primarily just information, folks talking, with the community members and those who travel for the event. So now they'll be at Conservation Night. Moving forward, would you all like to see those folks also joining Spring Blooms? Or are we comfortable with it just being like the race for the Laurel Days?
The
And the spring
conservation
blooms.
vendors. I
Yeah,
think
the
they should
conservation
be there. Don't you
vendors.
think they should be there?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
I think the more things that you have just during that window, myself would make it more explode, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would be more, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do it all at the same time and get it all done.
I think it's
kind
gonna
of
be
how
good.
we're
And I know
seeing it.
that
The kids love that.
when we were walking around for the conservation night at the Lookouts game, a lot of those people recognized us being from Spring City, so we were able to make those connections and talk to them again. And so I really think it helps out for our community to have that relationship with those different conservation groups, so
Okay.
I really like having them here, so.
So in that regard, this is just throwing out an idea to be able to spread it out, maybe have the conservation people set up on the other side of the depot. So we're getting down the whole street, besides just at the park.
And I was
I don't know
also
if that would
thinking
work.
with what Stephanie referenced, and this is what we talked about last year as well, is that it is a good opportunity to grow. If there is going to be growth, maybe eventually it is continuous all the way into the park.
I mean, if you had enough
That's the
vendors,
goal.
if you had enough vendors, the biggest thing is not having a gap and
Yes.
losing people from point A to point B. You've
Mhm.
gotta be able to fill it to get people all the way from start to finish. And, you know, like Terry had said, you know, closing the whole thing, if you've got enough and you're really gonna blow this thing up, you could go from point A all the way, I know you all had used part of the park and people ran into the park. I think versus just eat and let, you know what I'm saying? So that's another whole demographic that would help support the vendors as well, so.
So, well, and if we know that they're gonna be wanting breakfast,
Well, and
we
Phoebe's
have to
was
some
packed.
Thing
Yes.
is the breakfast,
Yes.
forgive me, I don't remember the name of the
BB's.
newer coffee shop that
BB's.
opened
No.
up.
Mondays.
Mondays.
Mondays,
Mondays coffee.
we were hoping folks would go over to Mondays, I didn't hear from them about whether they had good traffic. But the biggest thing
Yeah.
is like the breakfast, they
Well,
want breakfast, they want coffee, Spring City Nutrition came again
Mhm.
this year, I actually spoke with her kind of last minute to
There
see
you
if she was
go.
providing coffee.
Open up yourself.
And she's like, well, I didn't plan on it, I was like, I think they're gonna want
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah.
And immediately after the race, I went by, I said,
Biscuits.
well, and if we know in advance, you know, Stephanie's usually the one that's leading for, at least for the tourism, for the vendors, so.
Yes,
You
And
know, we
that-
can work, since we have enough time to work
Mhm.
more, and getting more
yeah,
food vendors, because I know at Blooms Festival this year, a lot of people with food
Ran
sold out like really quick.
yeah, okay, yeah.
We
And
had a
getting
really
the-
good, we had a really good turnout, and the vendors were really happy, you know, and had a return on their investment.
Mhm.
Everyone.
And like I said, I think we're on the way to growth, to be able to get to that point. And I think with teaming up with you know, the tourism board, you using your marketing as well, along with ours, and compiling, I think we have a bigger opportunity to grow. You know, we could do something way bigger than what we did last year and get to the park. I just think, you know, we get to work on it now, we start bringing vendors in and think about the food trucks, you know, and kind of think about how many people you're gonna have, because you gotta be able to feed I mean, people were running out at 1 and 2 o'clock. So you gotta be able to have enough to support the amount of people that come in.
Do you know how many were registered?
Registered, we had somewhere around 356.
Okay.
I do think 330 of them showed up in person.
Okay.
We also added the 10K this year. Folks really enjoyed that. I think that's actually what drew in some of those surrounding
Runners from-
states, because they want to, I mean, the serious runners of 5K is
Yeah.
something they do, you know, in 20 minutes in the morning.
On their treadmill every morning.
Yes, so the 10K definitely attracted more people, but we
Okay.
did have 330 that showed up in person.
And so then, plus the people that came with them, plus the,
Mhm.
like, they had kids or whatever,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And then the people that just came out to the park.
Yeah, overall, we saw maybe like 550,
Okay.
which I think, you know, would be
Good
great if we
ratio.
joined with Spring
The
Blooms,
Knoxville
because
Track
then more
Club,
folks.
you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean, like Covenant Health
Yeah.
does, you know what I'm saying? Covenant Health does a huge race up there around the first part of April, you know,
Yeah.
somebody could reach out to the Knoxville Track Club.
Yeah.
And some of those, you know what I'm saying, to
Runners.
get more runners in.
And, that's an excellent suggestion. We also have just kind of struggled in the past with volunteers in general to help get things going. And I know by the time we have posted Laurel Days Day, and we picked that date because it falls on Endangered Species Day. I think over the past 2 years, what we have come to is that's lost on folks anyway.
Yeah.
So we're not married to that date anymore. And school is already out by then. So students who need volunteer hours for their scholarships or things like that, we don't have those volunteers anymore.
Oh, wow.
And I do know that the past 2 years, it has competed with graduation events. So hopefully, if we were to shift up, we could get the schools more involved, like the track clubs and things like that. So it sounds like everybody likes this idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great
so
idea.
we,
There is still a request
yes.
to get more.
Yeah, we'll see if Matt about
And-
it
and
shows up.
and paraphernalia that.
Yeah, yeah. So we are
I've been
prepared
trying for 2
to
years.
continue with marketing. We will push it really heavy on our end. We're very excited people know about this little fish now. Little fish in y'all's backyard. So we will not do it on a Sunday. I'm gonna double check with Rhino Run, the race organizer, his name is Jim Evans, and see if it's May 8th that he is open.
Okay. It would, the Strawberry Festival Parade is on the 8th, so that would not, it would
It
have
is
to
on
be.
the
yeah,
So we
it'd
have to
be-
do
May the first, yeah.
It would have to be.
Yeah, just text them out.
Okay, I'm pretty sure May the first is the day that he can't be there. That in mind, I know that there is a race that happens out here like once a year. Is it the one
Yeah,
for
that may-
animals?
uh-huh.
Not the Laurel Days of
It's-
Animals,
it's-
but
it's-
the
The
shelter.
shelter did one earlier.
Yeah, so maybe
There's
we
the
can,
funky monkey run and
If
that's
There's a
It's
strawberry
straw-
chase too, that's
Yeah.
with strawberry.
But
fest.
it's all
Yeah.
held in Dayton, that's all done in Dayton.
okay, well, maybe we can,
But I don't
we'll
think
try
we need
and.
to compete, trying to compete with strawberries.
No.
No.
We'll never compete with the
The
strawberry.
Spring City people still go.
Right, right. So Spring Blooms would be the first weekend of
Yes.
May, okay, which is May
May
the first.
first.
Okay,
And
so
it's
I.
May Days.
Wow.
Terry's gonna teach me how to host, what did you call that, Terry, with pigs?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You told me pigs, slap, pig, what was it?
Oh, yeah, we used to do that down at the, depot there, yeah, with the grease pig contest.
A grease
Yeah.
That sounds
Put a
so
pole
funny.
up and grease the
Sounds like
pole,
a good
climb up
addition.
the pole. We
Yeah.
got a lot of people, lots and lots of people.
And could climb a grease pole.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Spring
That's so funny.
Blooms would be on May
We had dances
first.
out there too.
Okay, so that date is set. I'm pretty confident that's the day that Jay can't make it. So if anybody has the contacts for the folks who organize those races, it would be great to connect with them. If you think they've gone over smoothly,
Katrina.
it would be lovely to connect with them.
She knows.
So you guys will actually be taking Madison's card and my director Stephanie Chance. My last day with the aquarium is next Friday.
Oh.
I have decided to go back to school,
Oh, good for
believe
you.
it or not. Yeah, so I'm, of
But will
course,
you
always
come
here,
back?
Spring City has a very sweet place in my heart.
Will you come back to the Laurel Days?
I will
I mean,
be a
you have to get
volunteer
another
next
She'll be a volunteer.
year. Of course. So here are these, and then I have, Madison, of course, has hers, and then I have Stephanie's for you all as well. I'm always available as a resource. This is something that's near and dear to my heart, so you won't get rid of me on that front.
She's not
Okay.
being partial, just being cooked.
I'll just be a quick.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I feel like there was something else.
Just like halfway. And what's the
Oh.
date for the conservation ball game?
That'll still be in
Last-
June. We're kind of trying to negotiate so that it's not so gosh darn hot.
We just have to pick better
Since-
seats. Next time we're moving
Since
seats
this
to
is
the
going over
shade.
really well, it
Yeah.
might actually be toward the end of May, because it's just really hard for us. As you all know, Spring Blooms, Laurel Day State of Conservation Night, I got myself stressed sick. So, that being said, we'll still do the heavy lifting on marketing for the race on our end.
Okay.
If in this, we can kind of release all of the vendor and festival aspect of Laurel Day Day.
We can do that.
And we'll just manage the race, we'll come up, we'll support that. We would like to have a Tennessee Aquarium booth at the event, we'll make sure
I know
that.
the big thing with the fish was a big hit.
I
That's
know,
from
I know,
TVA,
that's, yeah, TVA, they had the same headache we did in going from Laurel Day
Uh-huh.
Day to Conservation Night. But maybe Laurel Day Day is the one that they'll join, because getting that big tank in the tiny gates at the ballpark was painstaking.
Speaking of conservation, did we ever get the books, the conservation books, did they ever send them to us?
Oh, from the Tennessee
You know, the one that that the Laurel Days was in,
With
when we were at the conservation?
I can,
Yeah.
you have them?
I have them, I'll double check.
It should have been like a box, whatever was left, they were gonna
Yeah.
be collecting and sending to us.
If not, just let me know, I'll make sure that he sends them.
Because nobody else really cares about the Laurel Days, except us.
It actually
I mean, here, I
has,
mean, talking
City.
about.
I don't
Spring
know
City.
if y'all know, but it has become a further competition between Spring City and Dayton. I know that y'all have your historic football competition, but I was in Dayton recently and there's a little base is in our backyard. Do what?
Was that Alan Garrison?
It was.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am, it was. Okay, great, so I will, I'll follow up with you all, especially after I hear
I'll
about
see
whoever
what,
directs
yeah, I'll
those
see
races.
who we got with the shelter.
Yep, I'll make sure that you're
Are you gonna talk to
connected with
Katrina?
our marketing
Katrina,
folks.
yeah.
And then, of course, guys, so
You know,
Passing the torch.
the American Legion does it on the Christmas, the American Legion does a breakfast. I wonder if they
Oh,
would,
yeah.
I mean, it's a long way off.
That might be something they would be interested in doing.
They might be interested in doing also.
Yeah.
Which is right across from the theater.
Yes.
Yes, they do it as
Great
break,
idea.
yes.
Okay.
Very nice.
Thanks you.
Any questions for us?
Well, good luck to you.
Thank
I
you.
guess you let them know what's going on so they can let us know what to do.
Of course.
I just think we'll need to be thinking about how to marry the two as far as branding and marketing, as far as banner, you know, because what we've had, we've used. We're gonna put those together, we will have to have a marriage between those and have something to be able to kind of rebrand a little
Yeah.
bit.
What I have been thinking about, Laurel Days is named after Mountain Laurel, because it blooms at the same time that Laurel Days start to spawn and breed. So maybe we play around with some Mountain Laurel. But again, I will get y'all connected with the powers that be in designing things so that y'all can co-brand and work that out, even if it's, you know, if it doesn't work out that there's like a full rebranding and it's just raised for the Laurel Days in the morning, Spring Woods Festival is still happening.
We'll make it work.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda would be our old business, Christmas at the Depot, lighting the way to Christmas. So with that, this is the second year we're gonna, put those events together. We talked at the last meeting and the chamber, clearly they're here, so they decided that they will do it with us. So the last meeting, we talked about moving the parade till later in the evening. We have a lot of community members that would like that, so that there's not such a gap between the 2 o'clock parade and the 6 o'clock lighting. So that would be moved to 5 o'clock. And then it would be dusk by the time that the parade is over. And then maybe have like Santa Claus or somebody, or Leon, strike his magic wand and turn the lights on for the lighting after the parade's over.
Hopefully it'll work.
Is there a date?
November 28th.
November 28th, yes.
I'm gonna be in Texas.
No, he's not Santa Claus. We have our firefighters, so Santa Claus.
And we looked it up, the sunset is at 5:15 on November 28th, and dark is at 5:45.
Yeah, so that's perfect. That would be really perfect.
Dark and the
Yeah, and so the one request that we're gonna put in application is that you do have lights on your parade float or your vehicle or whatever that you're gonna do, so. We do it, and we have a vehicle. Haven't been up late enough to pop it in my head. Other things going on. No. Okay, so the Christmas lights, we need to vote on. So every year we do the gift tags on the poles. Well, Michelle.
So we kind of met the other day and we're going over some of the different, we need to change, it's time to change from the tags that hang on the lamp post. Businesses or families are paying $250 for those, and I don't think that they're really seeing a big bang for their buck. And so, we need new lights on our light post on Highway 27. And so we looked into offering them an opportunity to sponsor one of those snowflake lights for the same price of $250. And so we would take the snowflake to their business, take a picture of them with it before it is installed, put that on social media, and then also have a banner created that had all of our sponsors listed on it. And that's their way of feeling like they are giving back to the community. It's something that everybody's gonna see, and it's just gonna beautify our community.
But they have their names on those or anything? It's
I don't
just
think it would
themselves?
matter if it was on it, because
Because you probably won't see
they're so
them.
high,
Yeah.
so it would be more of a social media and then a banner that would be on, I'm assuming on like the depot lawn or somewhere where everybody can still see it.
And then we would not have any kind of things on the lamp post?
Oh, garland, a wreath, and a big red bow.
Okay. so everything except the tag.
Everything
the tag
except
was
for the
not
tag. I put in for some pricing on red ribbon, and then Miss Judy loves to make her bows.
I think, did you order stuff before?
What is it?
All the stuff for the lamp posts, when we originally ordered them, were you the one that?
I can't hear you.
Yeah,
When you,
It's time for new ribbon.
no, I know, but I mean originally, I think, were you the one that got the, garland and all that?
Offer the garland at wholesale. I ordered it at
Yeah,
wholesale.
but not the ribbon.
And the ribbon was originally, it started out, if I'm not mistaken, Leslie, we used Leslie's bows, we had her make those.
Yeah.
So, but those bows are hard to package and keep every year and them not get damaged or messed up, so, I mean, I'm good with whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, the garland, I think the garland itself is still good, I think
Yes.
all the lights were still working, like it wasn't a cheap garland, like it was good stuff.
Yeah, they're still good. They hang them up in City Hall and they take very good care of it, so it's all been packed away.
Yeah.
We looked at it the other day and it's still, we still have a few more
Yeah,
years.
I mean, I would use it as long as I could, just to save on money.
Absolutely.
You might, if you need to get new ribbon, I don't disagree. And it might even be pretty to work red ribbon in with the garland and bring it down to bring a little more color. I mean, y'all do whatever you wanna do, it doesn't, I mean, I just got the stuff for,
Well, we appreciate that.
That sounds good. I've never heard you say that before.
I'm gonna put that
Listen,
on
I have a website, I have a store, I got a holiday barn, my plate's full.
So we're good with doing the snowflakes instead of, okay.
That's a great idea.
I mean, I think they're
Does
gonna,
anybody wanna see them?
that's
You said these will
tangible,
go
you know,
over
some
on
people
the-
don't, some
the
people
main
didn't see
highway?
it, yeah,
We'll do it. That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
You're saying the snowflakes will go over on the main highway?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're 5 feet, you guys wanna.
Kind of like Rockwood and Harriman.
Yes, so
Yeah.
they're 5 feet tall, and then if we, I think we needed 16, if we were to get more than the 16 sponsors, we would carry them on into the nature park.
And they're usable year after year, I think it's a great
Yep,
idea.
yes, they are.
Okay.
I like the snowflake idea because it'll carry all the way into winter.
Yes, yes. And a lot of what we have now are 3 feet, so, correct? And so these are gonna be even bigger and better. The lights on what we have now, we've used for so long that they're starting to turn a yellow color.
The
So,
snowflakes?
Okay,
yes.
okay. Covered that. Anything else on Christmas?
Well, if you can,
Yeah, I'm
now
sorry.
you gonna be working on getting the sponsors for those? or-
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
And if y'all need stuff and wanted it wholesale price, I just need to know it ahead of time before it sells out.
Okay. The first week of November, Public Works will begin getting out the Christmas decorations. They just go over all of the lights, make sure everything's fluffed and good. Just prepare for the season. Decorations will consist of the garlands, the wreaths, and the red bows.
And you did one more
November
real
the
quick.
2nd, they will begin taking down fall decorations.
What was that?
First week.
Yeah, they're taking down fall decorations. They're putting them up on September 29th.
Oh, my neighbor walked across this on camera and we can check, so. Is that?
I think that's about it. The memorial tree fundraiser, I think we
I think that's
decided.
my other thing.
That's it.
Did we wanna, just now or later talk about regular sponsorship, if that's what you're doing with the, like, that we get for the businesses for different categories?
Let's go ahead and just take that for time's sake for the next meeting,
Okay.
so we can get all that, what the wording and everything for that.
We'll need,
Yeah, because I think there have been some concerns on all of the signs all over, and then getting one of the fence and across the railroad tracks and all the things. So
Okay.
we need to come up with something different for that too.
Okay. So we'll follow the city works before we have the meeting. Okay. Community grant updates.
we have some deadlines we have to meet in order to continue that. One of the deadlines is to do an in-person meeting by September 17th with our consultant. We have that set up for September 9th at City Hall at 3 p.m. It is open to all, but I need 1 to 2 people on the tourism committee to be there as part of the steering committee.
Can you, excuse me, can you give me the date again?
Yes.
September 9th.
September 9th at City Hall at 3 p.m. And, of course, I'll be there, and anyone that can attend, please attend. It's, the attendance is part of the I guess, rules of the grant. Also, we will have to complete 2 required online trainings. The deadline for that will be October 15th, 2026. One class will be Intro to Design. The second class will be what is a promotion. And then next, the final required online training will be the deadline November 12th, 2026. And it is over economic vitality. And I'm gonna take those and I'll see if just me taking them takes meets the criteria. I'll see how many people they want to take them, but I'm gonna take them for sure. So if nothing else, that'll be, I'll try to meet that unless you guys want to. Probably really good. And then there is another one on November 19th in Lebanon that is an in-person. We must attend that in person. It's the Downtown Summit, and it is in Lebanon on November 19th. And we can all caravan together.
November 9th.
That's the one we went to before.
But it's real similar to that one.
Yeah, they just didn't schedule it this year.
Right. And then we'll have to do a follow-up meeting on November 19th after the summit. And we'll have to submit some community work plans and some reinvestment statistics. And that deadline is January 31st, 2027. So everything that I've given to you details the majority of the stuff that we have to do. I've contacted our representative, who is Ms. Diana Cantler, C-A-N-T-L-E-R, and she's really nice. She'll be in Spring City, like I said, at 3 p.m. on September 9th at City Hall. And we have about a 6-month program ahead of us, and I look forward to it. And we'll get started. I don't know about money or what they're gonna do, but we'll learn as we go, because the first steps is to hit all these deadlines, because if we don't, it could possibly kick us out.
Question on that online training, is there like a link to that, or is it just a
Yeah.
Zoom class, or what's?
Yeah, one of the requirements that I could also do is email. I have to confirm receipt of this email, which I've already done. I have to give a location where we're gonna meet, where the steering committee can meet, which I've already done. I have to send an email to all of the community steering committee and inviting them to the meeting. And in that email will also be a link to all the training. So I got this email late today, so I wasn't able to, but I'll be doing that in the morning. And then I need to send a map of downtown district that will be given to her by September 2nd. I've already done it. So everything's done except for email you guys the links to the training. That's it.
Michelle, do you want to update? You put in for the grant?
I did put in for a tourism marketing grant, for $2,500, it's a matching grant, and we asked for the money for wayfinding signage.
Yeah. We've been talking about that for what, 10 years?
Right? Yeah.
Nice. Did we, there were some grants that we were supposed to be hearing something about by the end of July, did we? What was that for?
I think it was with, Main Street, that high grant, 2 parts.
Was that for the kayak?
The LPRF funding.
Did we ever hear any more about that yet, or not?
Yeah, the LPRF funding, I believe we did not get it, and I'll find out about the other part. I haven't been contacted yet if we've gotten the first part
Huh?
of it.
in your pocket.
No, when I chatted.
I wish.
Oh, I thought there was
I
another one that we
wish.
were applying for
That
that we
lady.
were waiting on.
I'll check and call you.
I forget what it was. But because we didn't get the one grant, we were applying for another one to get for the second half of our fire.
Okay. We have no new business at that point, where other business, anybody got anything from the tourism board? Need a motion to adjourn?
Commercial museum.
I second that motion.
And I'll say something real quick.